In a famous Itan Private School, a girl, Komi, on the first day of school is the most admired girl. Students of the class admire her and love to be friends with her. On the other hand, Tadano is an average boy who wants nothing but just to live his college life peacefully. He does not want to be noticed, but from the start, he gets seated beside Komi, and because of this, he is the target of hatred by Komi's admirers. At the class introduction, Komi feels immense pressure to be able to speak, and she introduces herself by writing on the board. When the class ends and everybody is outside, Tadano, who had been sleeping, wakes up to find Komi sitting and talking to a stuffed cat. As soon as she realized Tadano heard her talk, she gets embarrassed and rushes outside the class. To save Komi from humiliation, Tadano stops her by asking her whether she has trouble talking with people. Komi stops and tries to converse with Tadano, but she can't speak. When Komi is unable to speak, Tadano suggests writing instead of speaking. It's tough for Komi to talk to others, but she genuinely wants to make friends and interact with others. She writes to Tadano on the board. She asks Tadano for help in contacting new people and striking up conversations. Tadano agrees. After becoming Komi's friend, Tadano resolves to help Komi in her goal of making 100 friends. Komi thanks him and rushes out of the class to end the conversation. The following day, when Tadano meets Komi, she trembles, even saying morning greetings. Tadano instructs her to introduce herself to everyone she meets in order to make more friends. To help Komi make friends, Tadano approaches a group of girls, but he is reminded of his social position for being the worthless person sitting beside the beautiful Komi. But as Tadano has promised Komi that he will help her make friends, he finally approaches Najami Osana, Tadano's childhood friend. Osana is great at communicating with people, and everybody in the class is her friend. After seeing Osana's social circle, Tadano asks her to be friend with Komi, but she denies it. Osana reveals that she has known Komi since 2nd grade and tried to befriend her for so long, but she has always ignored her. Despite her every effort, Komi is the only person she can't be friends with. Tadano insists Osana to walk home with Komi to be friends with her. On Tadano's insistence, Osana agrees. After school, Osana walks home with Komi and, on the way, tries conversing with her, but she shows no expression and is too anxious to talk. Just then, Ma, Osana's friend, appears and confesses to her. Osana quickly rejects him, but Ma holds Osana's hand. In the process, Ma's keys fall. Komi notices this and tries to return them to Ma, but Ma perceives Komi as a villain. He doesn't understand her expressions and takes her words as a threat. Ma and his friend get afraid of Komi and run away. Osana likes Komi's concern and changes her perspective about her. She then becomes friends with Komi, and this way, Komi earns her second friend. The next day, during lunch break, Osana approaches and decides to eat with Komi. She offers Tadano to join them, but Komi's admirers consider it an unacceptable sight to see Tadano with Komi. Tadano denies joining them and prefers to sit beside them. Osana continues talking with Komi, but as expected, she is too anxious enough to speak a single word. When Tadano reveals to Osana and Komi wants to make 100 friends, Osana orders Komi to bring a special drink from the market, and if Komi does not bring it, she will not be friends with her. As Komi wants to stay friends with Osana, she goes and buys her a drink. Komi gathers the courage to enter the shop, but as she is unable to speak, she gets the wrong drink. Komi knows that she is bringing the wrong drink, but she can't say a single word. Inside the library, Komi continuously stares at Himiko Agari, a shy girl with a personality the same as Komi. Wherever she goes, Komi keeps staring at her, making her feel anxious and distressed. But to run away from Komi's gaze, Agari engages in some activity that changes her personality. In the flashback, it appears that Osana and Tadano are on a mission to help Komi make 100 friends. But as Komi is not progressing in making friends, Osana tells Tadano that Agari has the same personality as Komi and is not good at communicating with people. While Osana is talking, Komi and Agari disappear from the scene. Komi goes to speak with Agari, but she keeps glaring at her and gives Agari a frightened expression. Agari wants to express her gratitude to Komi for helping her develop some of her communication abilities. At Tadano's request, Agari befriends Komi, and that is how Agari is another addition to Komi's friends list. When Komi receives her first phone, she asks her friends to give her their numbers. This time, Komi intends to collect Osana and Agari's number on her own, despite Tadano's desire to assist her. She writes down their number on paper because she wants to put Tadano's number first on the phone. When Tadano hears that, he avoids looking Komi in the eye and screeches inside in shame. When it's about choosing the class president, everyone puts Komi up as the class president candidate, but Osana opposes her. since she recognizes Komi's status. She demands a much higher post for Komi. Since Komi has been chosen as the student council's god, no one remains interested in the role of president, and the teachers choose Tadano for the post. After school, at home, while browsing the phone, Komi accidentally calls Tadano. Komi speaks a little bit for the first time and feels mortified by her first call. The next day, students enjoy playing games during their leisure time. Osana helps Komi join a game when she wants to participate. To support Komi, Tadano also pledges to join in on the game. But despite others' unwillingness, she somehow manages to get to play. After struggling through this series of games, Komi joined the social gathering and had fun for the first time. She expresses gratitude to Tadano for helping her and having pleasure. One day, while returning home from school, Tadano gets kidnapped. At school, Yamai, Komi's classmate and one of her greatest admirers, attempts to befriend her, but is unsuccessful. Yamai continued to occupy Tadano's desk the entire time. Osana plans to visit Yamai's house with Komi. After hearing that Komi will visit her home, Yamai immediately agrees. At Yamai's house, Tadano is present and is kidnapped out of jealousy due to his friendship with Komi. Tadano, tied in ropes, is inside the cupboard. When he hears Osana's voice, he keeps making noise for her to save him. Osana opens the closet and finds Tadano inside. Yamai continues by saying that Tadano is unworthy of friendship with someone as attractive as Komi. Yamai, on the other hand, suggests becoming friends with Komi. Komi refuses to be friends with Yamai and frees Tadano to leave the house. When Yamai asks for the reason, Komi explains that she prefers her own friends, leaving Yamai in despair. At school, Yamai realizes her mistake and apologizes to Tadano for her act. She proposes to be friends with Komi, and Komi accepts her proposal. Yamai is now Komi's friend, and with the passage of time, Komi is getting closer to her goal of making 100 friends. Tadano shares Komi's aim of making 100 friends with Yamai, and she promises to support Komi in her aim. At the school, a girl named Yadano considers herself Komi's rival and strives to defeat her, but she consistently fails. During the fitness test at the gym, Yadano loses every game against Komi. After school, Osana and Tadano go to Komi's house, since Komi always wants to bring her friends home. Although Komi is a terrible host and is silent and embarrassed the entire time, her mother fixes the situation by bringing in snacks. Following her departure, Osana sends Komi a photo that she discreetly took while Komi was staring at Tadano. The next day at school, the gang decides to visit the ramen shop. Agari, being a food lover, joins them, and when they get to the shop, Komi swiftly finishes the large bowl and departs the shop. Agari does the same, but Osana and Tadano overeat and declare that they will never return. However, Komi seemed to like her first outing and expressed a desire to return another day. One day at school, Nakanaka, a classmate of Komi, decides to become friends with her. Nakanaka, however, has a rich fantasy life and frequently talks about princesses, dragons, and lords. During the gym class for stretching, when no one would pair up with Nakanaka, Komi approaches her and becomes her partner. This is the first time Komi approaches someone unaided and on her own. Komi ultimately gains a new friend at the end of the lesson in the form of Nakanaka. Komi has never been shopping by herself, so Osana decides to take her on shopping. She wants Tadano to join in translating Komi's words for her. Osana also asks for Agari and the group to leave for the shopping. Yamai, who had been chasing them, arrives at the clothes store and joins them there. Since Komi has no sense of fashion, everyone agrees to pick out an outfit for her. After Komi tries on every other dress, Tadano's dress receives the highest ratings, much to Tadano's delight. When Komi returns home, she realizes she needs a haircut and goes to the salon to obtain one. At school, except Tadano, nobody notices her haircut. Exam time is approaching, and Osana wants to die since she dislikes studying so much. The group chooses to hold a group study in a library. After spending some time studying, Osana feels the need to play. She is punished for making noise in the library and gets expelled. The fact that Komi also gets punished ever for playing in the library made her happy. Exams are over and Osana succeeds in passing them. Komi stayed at home throughout the summer months to do her coursework. And now she's getting bored. Komi attempts to contact her friends, but is unable to dial the number. Finally, Osana calls Komi and invites her to tomorrow's pool party. The next day, Komi goes out of the house to enjoy the pool. There, she runs into Osana and Tadano. But right then, Agari shows up because Osana also invited her. When the group is set to head for the pool, Yamai and a few other classmates showed up there without being invited by Osana. More people put pressure on Komi, but still manages to get to the pool and put on her swimsuit. While in the water, Komi seems to enjoy herself and is excited about each activity. After tripping and hurting her knee, Komi's enjoyment is lost. As soon as Komi is unable to enter the pool, Osana brings a water gun to provide entertainment for Komi. The day is over, and Komi has had a lot of fun with so many different people for the first time in her life. Osana invites Komi and Tadano to the summer festival. Komi looks cute in her dress, but she wonders if the outfit looks well on her. Yamei and some other friends also approach the festival and participate in many exciting activities. At the festival, Komi also enjoys shooting targets, cutting candies, and pulling ropes. She enjoys herself more than anything. After the festival, Yamei, Komi, and Osana gather at Tadano's house since the summer vacations are about to end. But Osana hasn't finished her homework. Komi expresses her gratitude to everyone for making her summer holiday so special. Naka texts Komi and invites her over because she wants to be friends. Overwhelmed, Komi agrees and shows up at Naka's house. Naka welcomes her inside and shows her her room. Just as Naka is struggling to communicate with Komi, she immediately invites Osana. A short while later, Osana and Tadano show up at Naka's house. Osana makes herself comfortable and quickly suggests a game to have fun. Komi joins the game as a first-timer, but she plays it well and has a good time playing with her friends. It's a school sports festival, and every class takes part in the competitions. Tadano and Komi's rest of her friends participate in many games. Komi also takes part and has to run faster as the final representative of her class. While running, Komi slips and falls. Initially, she loses hope of winning, but when she hears the cheering voices of her class, she gets up and gathers the courage to run again. Komi stands second, but fails to win the game. The class placed second overall in the sport event, and everyone enjoyed themselves to the fullest. There is stress in the class about the upcoming cultural festival. Everyone wants to see Komi at the culture festival, and has many suggestions about how to do it. Tadano suggests holding a competition, because she sees Komi as her rival. Everyone makes different suggestions, and the class is unable to come to a single point, so a vote is taken. After the class struggles to focus on a single point, Tadano approaches Komi and asks her opinion. Just as Komi mentions her desire to set up a maid cafe for the culture festival, the class unites on the spot and finalizes the maid cafe. The festival preparations have started in class. During the preparations, when Otori is asked to bring some supplies from the store, she asks for Komi's assistance. As Komi is never asked to help, it makes her so happy, and 3 of the students go to buy supplies. At the store, Otori shows her desire to be friends with Komi, much to Komi's delight, as she is getting near her goal of making 100 friends. On the way back, Komi speaks for the first time, which shows that she is overcoming her social anxiety, at least in some manner. The cultural festival finally arrives, and the class install a maid cafe just to see Komi in her gorgeous maid suit. However, Komi is also trying to come out of her zone by serving the customers. To advertise the cafe, Osana, Komi, and Tadano, disguised as maids, visit other places. They get the experience of the haunted house and try rooftop confessions. The maid cafe advertisement becomes a huge success, leaving many pleasant but awkward memories behind. In high school, Komi's dull and unforgettable life changes for the better, and she has more fun than she has ever had. Komi, who begins trembling when it's about to speak, finally speaks up in a lower voice, showing her desire to be friends together. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.